Friday the 3rd of October and I am working in Fashion Week. I'm so excited. I'm working for an Australian label called Age. I think it's Age. And I'm very excited. It's their first Paris Fashion Week, so it's a big moment for the brand. They're 17 years old, so they've been building for a long time. And I'm going to be helping with the backstage, last minute sewing preparation, just little tasks that they need help with for the big day, which is on Tuesday. And I'm in Opera. I'm on my way to the studio. I'm very excited. I'll see how much I can film. Obviously I can only post after the show is done. I helped out at Fashion Week in February for another Australian brand called Christopher Esba, and that was so much fun. It was pretty intense, very long hours, but a very, very exciting time. And I'm just mentally preparing myself for that again. Yeah, can't wait. I'm just around the corner, but I think I'm gonna grab a bite to eat because you just don't know how long you're going to be working, you know what I mean, without a break. Okay, now that I'm sitting down, I'm going to explain to you how I got this gig. So I met a lady backstage at the Christopher Esba show. And the thing about working in fashion is that you need to be very personable. You need to be able to make conversation with anyone. I just got chatting with people backstage, being interested in their work, like what are they doing here? I met a photographer who was really interesting, and I also met a stylist. Caught up a couple of months ago just to kind of see, because we're both Australians in Paris. I said, like, I'd love to do it again, not knowing that she put me in touch. But anyway, she passed on my details to Age. They reached out to me. That's it. That's really how fashion works. It's really about being personable, about being bold and having good connections. Talent won't get you everywhere, unfortunately. And I know a lot of people who I went to fashion school with who were very talented pattern makers and sewists, but they have just really struggled to get work in the industry. All that to say is be bold. Like, you actually need to work on your people skills, on your communication skills, on your presentation, just as much as you need to be developing your technical skills and pattern making and seam sewing and everything like that. So, fun fact about me, I never say that my name is Chelsea because it's just not a very French name, and it just gets too confusing. You have to repeat it, or they just spell it wrong or whatever. And I always say, I love the name Clara, so I always say that my name is Clara. So I've met the team. It's actually very calm. I was expecting a lot of chaos, but we'll see how the next couple of days go. It's quite a stressful time, and everything seems to be so last minute in fashion, but the energy was just like very relaxing, so I'm happy about that. They've sent me on my first mission. I'm gonna go buy some fine sewing needles and lots of snips. So that's kind of what I'm gonna be doing, is just like lots of odd jobs, just an extra pair of hands, and it's a really great way to just be a fly on the wall, but also be involved. A creative designer, she's very nice. It's a beautiful label, so I'm really, really fortunate to be working for them. We'll find out.
Ooh.
Does it go well?
Yeah, it does actually. It looks very cool. Yeah.
Lunch was amazing, and it's really nice that they provide it for us. That's usually the case at Fashion Week, just because everyone's so busy, so they usually get stuff ordered in. Now I'm off on another errand. I'm gonna go buy a pressing ham, some embroidery scissors, and some bias binding. So it's really nice. The people are really nice. It's a lot of fun. It certainly changes things up from my ordinary desk job. And I think just being in a different environment, being surrounded by beautiful clothes and jewelry, it just gets you really inspired. And I get so many different ideas about content, projects, travel. Like, I don't know, it's just nice to do things that are a bit out of your routine. So far so good. Third mission of the day, I'm off to go pick up a computer from the Airbnb. It started to rain, and honestly, I kind of like these little tasks. They're so fun and easy, and I feel like I'm making a big difference because it's stuff that they really need. Okay, I'm on my fourth mission of the day. I had to go to a printing shop, did some sewing patterns in an A0 format. But because it was exported from Adobe Illustrator, the scale wasn't correct, so it was a bit confusing, but I think we got there, and I'll go back and pick it up shortly. I got transfer paper, French curve, and the tissue paper. Good morning, it is day 2. They've already set me on my first mission, which is to go pick up some buttons and zippers. So thankfully the haberdashery that I went to yesterday is open. It closes at 1 p.m. so hopefully we'll get everything we need by then. Everything's still pretty calm. I think the pace is picking up a little bit. I am actually surprised that they're still cutting out stuff. I didn't know that you kind of finalize which pieces will go into the collection at last minute. I think it's usually that they make a lot more designs than they need, and then they see what works well with the models, just what's most cohesive, and I guess now they finalize which looks they're going to choose. Alright, I'm out on my third or fourth mission of the day, and since the other haberdashery is closed, I'm going to another little one in Le Marais. This is actually a really lovely spot. It's not as industrial, it's more for domestic sewing, and they have the most gorgeous trims. I will show you. I'm gonna go pick up some chocolate thread for some silk organza pants that they're making. Honestly, I think there are more tourists in Le Marais than near the Eiffel Tower or near the Louvre. They just all flock there, and the streets are really, really small, really narrow. So it's usually you can only walk like 2 file. Anyway, I'm gonna go home now, relax, and see how tomorrow goes. So quiet. I've got my parents and my brothers, 2 of my brothers, coming in a couple of weeks. I'm really excited. Always nice to have visitors, especially when it's family. Yeah, you just see the city from a different lens, I think. All the way down there is Notre Dame. And this is where I'm heading.
With children, it seems risky, but go all out on it.
Okay.
And room down the road and tag team. Not too hard.
The pieces are beautiful, so stunning. And to see them all up close, I've just been getting so much inspiration. I really want to start using more embellishments and just different techniques like beading and ruffles. Really want to start learning to drape. I never really learned for myself. I only learned it to pass an exam and it really didn't click for me. So I really want to start draping. This is why I love Fashion Week, because you learn so much and you also meet a lot of cool people and build your network. It's just fantastic. It's such a cool experience. And being able to do it with a different label every time, I think is also a good way to go about it, because you're being exposed to new styles, obviously new people and different processes. Feeling good. I could sew all day. If I could do this for my job, that would be amazing. But then again, I wonder if it would take away the joy of sewing for me. Anyway, this is fun for now. Day 4. Let's do it. Okay, my first mission of the day is to go to the haberdashery. Now that they're open, I'm going to get some snips, thimbles, double-sided tape. So I really wanted some nice pointed toes like this, but with a low heel, so that I can wear it for a long time. Monoprix is really nice. Like, look at these trenches, gorgeous. And they've got some really nice cashmere cardigans that I saw. It's great quality, and it's a supermarket, which is incredible. Wow, I got it. Oh no 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 no.
Usual.
Guys, I had to return those shoes. Even though they were stunning, they were slightly too big for me. And I wanted to exchange them for a smaller pair, but they didn't have it. Anyway, so I just got a reimbursement. Is that what you say in English? Yeah, a refund. And hopefully I'll find the same pair in the right size at a different Monoprix. I'm on my lunch break. I ate at the studio and I'm just going for a walk. I want to go buy some yarn because I want to crochet a blanket just in like a really plain granny square stitch. I don't know crochet very well. I've only just started and I only know how to make a granny square, but it's really fun and really addictive. Christmas already. I don't really have as many colors as I expected. I was hoping for like a nice big pink. This would take too long to crochet. I'd get through it too quickly, but it's pretty cheap. That's how you grow. Beautiful autumn leaves. I'm on my way now to the 15th arrondissement to go pick up some trims. It's very quiet. I had a really nice walk and then we could just like sit down and relax, have a cup of tea. Everything's very organized, as I said. I think we're gonna have an early start tomorrow. Yeah, so now I'm gonna go pick up some trims. It's really nice. It's honestly like a bit of a holiday from my usual routine. So it's been lovely. I got one of these. Et voilà. I just saw this in the window and this is exactly what I've been looking for so long. It's not gonna tarnish or anything, it's perfect. So I had a bit of an impulse purchase, but you know when you've been looking for something so particular for so long and you kind of forget about it, it stays in the back of your mind though. And then you come across it and it's like now or never. So, and it was a good price. So that's a bit of a gift for me for Fashion Week, I think. Voila. Okay, I've got the parcels from this pickup place. Now I'm gonna get an Uber back because they're way too heavy. We are waiting for all the models to come in and we're gonna do a debrief and see what's gonna happen tomorrow. This fabric store, and since I've got a bit of time, I wonder if they're open. Just having a look. C'est les tissus pour la maison?
Oui, absolument. Les tissus d'ameublement.
C'est très beau. Looks like they're shutting down, but it's a good little homewares store. Vanessa Galmar. Anyway, she was really nice. This is incredible. I think this is the shop where they got everything. It's just, the quantities are just huge. Obviously it's a wholesaler. So cool. I just think this could be amazing somehow if I incorporated it into a dress. Now we're visiting the showroom, just returning these empty suitcases. So this is the showroom for wholesalers to come and visit after the show if they're interested in the looks and they want to partner with Age. Look how beautifully everything is displayed. I mean, it's literally a museum. It's gorgeous. Hopefully this show will draw in a lot of business and just a new attention to the brand. Yeah, it's all about reaching new audiences and expanding the business. Got a big bag. Very excited for the show and also to show you what I've got. It's been a fun couple of days. A lot more relaxing than I expected. I much prefer to wake up early than work right through into the night, you know? So, and I've got tomorrow afternoon off, so that'll be sweet. Good morning, it is 4:45. I've been up since 4. I'm gonna order an Uber and then head out. Feeling good, feeling excited. Let's do this. These are my 2 looks. And then I've got this kit. Headscarf so that they don't put makeup on. Nylon cannot be laser cut, so that's why it's fraying. They just had to cut it as usual, but usually if you use, I guess, natural fibers or even they said 100% polyester and you laser cut, it's a very clean cut. So now I'm just kind of snipping away at all the little fraying to give it a bit of a neat look. But how gorgeous. I'm just getting so much inspiration of different techniques and it's just incredible. Let's have a look for how they've done it. A lot of the technicians are in China or in India. A lot of the beading is done in India. I was just talking to the product developer. It's just incredible. All the models are in hair and makeup. And then first thing, we're going to put them in their shoes and we're going to do a dress rehearsal for them to practice their walk. And then we'll wait a couple of hours, see if anything needs to be adjusted last minute, and then we'll get them into their pieces, into their clothes. Very exciting. This detail is just so beautiful. The way they've used the beads and then overlocked the edge in a contrasting colour. It's just beautiful, like a little fairy petal dress. Dress fashion. So clever. Time to steam the silk organza pieces I have. Now for the studio shoots. This is one of the gorgeous models that I dressed. She looks amazing. Last minute hair and makeup touch-ups before the studio shoot. This is the other model that I dressed. Beautiful. Love the peplum. The show is finished. It's midday and I'm heading out. This is such a big venue. Last season I came to this venue, but it was a different runway. So I think there's lots of different venues inside this location because it's huge. I also think it's a museum or an exhibition. So I'm gonna head home, rest. Yeah, I can't wait to show you all my fabrics and everything else. Merci, au revoir. This just here is the Fashion Museum, and there's also a really gorgeous park you can sit in. It's free to access the park. I'll see if I can find some photos of my first time there back in 2015. I'm gonna see if I can walk a fair bit of the way home and then get the metro. I'm back in Monoprix on the Champs-Élysées this time. And I found size 40. I'm gonna get them, I think. Should I try them on? I should probably try them on to be sure. I decided to get one pair of shoes. I got the black. I think I'll wear them. If I have one pair, I'll wear them probably more often. I've also got more heels at home than I need to wear. I made a sensible choice. Okay, now for home. Hello, I am back from Fashion Week. I've actually returned back to work the past 3 days and I'm in my normal routine now, but I thought I'd show you what I got to take home from the show. The show could not have gone any smoother, to be honest. They made it look so effortless and they were so organized. I really take my hat off to the team at Age. They've done such a good job and it was just so much fun to be a part of their first show in Paris, international show I'm pretty sure. And they were kind enough to give me all their leftover, well not all of it, we shared it around, but I chose some fabrics to take home. I got some snips. I actually have come to realize how handy it is to have snips on a hook like this when you're sewing and I always lose them on my desk. I got a tailor's ham. So you use these when you're ironing out any curved edges such as shoulders or bust darts. It's just a really handy tool to have in your sewing studio. And in here, I'm so excited. You can actually see all this fabric that I got. I'm very excited. There was quite a big pile of printed fabric, but unfortunately because it's intellectual property of the brand, you know, they design their own prints, we couldn't take it home, which was a shame, but I totally get that, I respect that. But we did, however, get to take home a bunch of this lace. Isn't this just gorgeous? Then I've kind of got like this golden, I think it's silk organza in kind of like a very soft pleat. It's not even a pleat, it's like a wave. It's just so gorgeous. I loved how they used this silk organza throughout the collection. And then I think this is some more silk organza and an invisible zip. A couple invisible zips with some thread. I don't know when and how I'm gonna use these fabrics, but just the fact that I could take them home, I'm pretty sure they were gonna throw them out otherwise. which I think would be such a shame, but they didn't really have much choice. They couldn't bring back a lot of stuff. Yeah, I was happy to take it. More silk organzas. I actually have a pattern that I want to use some of this fabric for. I love this neckline, and then to add a contrasting sleeve and a contrasting fabric, like they've got the lace as an example there, so I could totally use a silk organza instead. I just think that's really chic or interesting. I've got lots of thread, some boning, which I actually bought for them at the haberdashery. I have made a dress with boning before. I made this dress back in 2023 and it had boning. It was the first time I used boning, and it was actually not too hard. So I definitely consider using this pattern again with some boning. I've got some of these metal zippers. Then I've got this gorgeous bag of pink fabrics with some threads and zipper. This is the same lace as the yellow one I showed you, just in the pink. I mean, this is amazing. Pink. So this must be the lining. This is kind of pretty, really soft and a bit stretchy, so that's fun. So that's kind of cool. This is my pink section, I guess. My fabric stash is growing. I need to start using it. And this gorgeous silk organza, it's got like a very sheen and sparkly tint to it in the light. It's just amazing. It's like a mermaid fabric. I mean, even putting this in ruffles, like such an easy way to add interest. And I did make sure to pick up some spools because I seem to run out of those quite quickly. Some more silk organza and a more baby pink color, which I just adore. This is more of like a pearl color. White organza. I don't know if it's silk or not, but it's some sort of sateen, silk satin maybe. I think fabric is my love language. More zippers. Got these gorgeous buttons, which I thought was so fun. Plenty of thread and some beads. Just some clear, crystally looking beads that could definitely add some gorgeous interest and some embellishment. So they've attached this accessory they've got to the zipper, which just makes it so cool. I got some press studs, some elastic. Oh, I got some pink beads as well. Some very wide bias binding, which I think I picked up at the haberdashery store for them. And finally, a few scrap pieces of silk organza. So I'll figure out how to use them. They're already hemmed. Maybe I'll use these for a sash. So that's that. I'm very excited. Fashion Week was amazing. Honestly, my biggest advice to anyone who wants to get their foot in the door is to network and meet people, learn how to develop your people skills. All that networking really means is making friends with people in your industry. And that's like the most vital skill you can have as a professional. Talent can only get you so far. I think a lot of, tangible skills are teachable, but it's a lot harder to teach someone how to speak well, how to present well. And if you can learn that stuff on your own, watch YouTube videos, listen to books, there's so many free resources you can use to grow in ultimately what is your personal image. And that's what really helps you to stand out in this very noisy and exciting industry. So that's probably my biggest advice to anyone who would like to eventually do something like this. Okay, that is most of my fabrics all packed away now. I'm feeling very happy with my stash. I've got a lot of projects I want to start working on. With that, I'm going to wrap up my Fashion Week vlog, and I hope this could have inspired you and showed you a lot of the behind the scenes. So I wish you well, and I hope you have a lovely week full of happy sewing. Bisous!